as you look at all of the years of your lifetime that have gone by and all of the diet failures that you've had, have you come to the wise conclusion that diets don't actually work? Unless, of course, you do the inner self diet and heal the root of the real problems. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is episode number 341. We are counting down my top 10 diet failures in the hopes of helping you to avoid all the mistakes that I've made. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is JoLynn Braley. I am the permanent weight loss coach, weight loss mindset expert, and founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that actually works, the diet that is not about food. It's not about changing what you eat in a certain type of food diet plan. Instead, it's about healing the root of the real problems that drive you to choose the unhealthy fat-producing foods, the real problems that drive you to devalue yourself, to beat yourself up with food, to abuse yourself with food, the real problems that drive your binge eating, your emotional eating, your self-sabotage. And once the root of the real problems is healed, then you are free. Now, I am not saying that you can just think positive thoughts and somehow lose weight. That is not what the Inner Self Diet is. The Inner Self Diet is about healing the root of the real problems so that you do change your eating behaviors to switch over into a healthy lifestyle that works for you. Now, what that healthy lifestyle is that works for you, for client A that I've coached, that might be a little bit different than client B and client C and client Z. They could all have a little bit different healthy lifestyle plan, but that's the beauty of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet works with any healthy lifestyle eating plan because the Inner Self Diet is about healing the root of the real problems so that you stop putting off your weight loss, you stop sabotaging yourself, you stop beating yourself up, you allow yourself to eat in the way that works best for your body. Most of my coaching clients, they've already had success in the past with weight loss, but then they always end up sabotaging themselves. They don't love themselves enough to continue to live healthy and fit. They have mental blocks. They have hidden subconscious blocks. And those barriers and those blocks that you can't see, those are the worst ones because those are the ones that you always say, oh, well, I was doing so good. And then, quote, something happened, end quote. And you can't say what that something was. You can't describe it because you don't know. And then what's even worse than that is that the next time that you attempt to do another one of these food diets and force yourself to lose weight, you're expecting something to happen and take you off track. So it's a never-ending cycle of failure. You might have some wins here and there, but then you eventually end up failing. And that is what the Inner Self Diet heals and cures, because there is something going on within you unconsciously that needs to be brought into the light, healed, and released. Now, what is that for you personally? I don't have any idea because I don't know who you are. Come on now, let's get real. I'm here recording this totally free weight loss podcast for you. I'm going to share with you my top 10 personal diet failures in the hopes of helping you avoid all the mistakes I've made. But I have no idea who you are. If you are one of my awesome coaching clients, I am coaching through the Inner Self Diet. That's great. Then you're getting all the inner self secrets and all the inner self tools and all the inner self processes and everything that I give you to help you succeed, because that's what I'm here to do, to help you do. But that's for the clients that are in the inner self diet. You see, the inner self diet requires two-way communication. It's not just me talking on a podcast to who knows who. I mean, you could be, for all I know, you could be a fluffy orange hamster, and your owner left on their podcast service on their laptop when they went out to get binge food, and you're a hamster listening to this. That's how much I know. So to get to the root of your personal, unconscious, hidden barriers that continue to sabotage you and take your weight loss off track, that requires two-way communication. That requires coaching. That requires real life interaction over the phone, which is how I coach my awesome clients. That requires commitment. That requires a willingness to change. That requires a willingness to get real with yourself, which is all about you getting totally honest with yourself. Exposing the excuses, exposing the lies you tell yourself. And a lot of these things, you still can't see them because you're so caught up. You have been in the struggle for so long. This is why coaching is so highly, highly valuable if you work with the right coach who is focused on fixing the real problems. So that's what I do with my awesome coaching clients. My coaching clients, they have lost from 5 to 90 pounds, depending on where they started. You know, if I have a client who only needs to lose 5 pounds, then of course they're not going to lose 90 pounds because then they would be dead, right? That doesn't make any sense. But then I've had clients who needed to lose 90 pounds and they did. It works. Why? Because once you get out of your own way, you heal the root of the real problems, and then you start just living healthy and fit in a way that works for your body. What's the big deal? You don't feel like you're missing out anymore. You don't feel like you are just like struggling through another diet, because you are in control. You are free. You are in your own power. You are excited to eat and choose all those healthy foods. You do it from a completely different place, a completely different mindset, a completely different emotional state, something that you can't even fathom right now because that's not where you are. How do I know that that's not where you are, even though I don't know who you are? Because you're listening to my voice. If you were already in that place of struggle-free freedom, if it was already just not a big deal for you to live a healthy lifestyle, then you wouldn't be listening to me. Does that make sense? Okay? So freedom is possible, but it's not possible if you don't take action to get it. If you don't take action with the proven system that sets you free. If you don't heal the root of the real problems that caused you to make yourself fat in the first place. If you don't stop lying to yourself, if you don't come out of your denial, if you don't stop hiding behind the fat. All right? So I am here to coach my awesome clients out of the struggle. This free weight loss podcast is a way for you to start to open your eyes to the fact that the mainstream diet industry is not set up to help you succeed. The mainstream diet industry is there to give you, oh, here's a way that you could eat. Oh, here's another way you could eat. Oh, here's another way you could eat. Oh, these people are eating like this. Oh, these people are eating like this. Oh, here's another way you could eat. Oh, and it's just all of these instructions, recipes, things like that may or may not work for you. Some of them do, some of them don't. But none of them address, why did you do this to yourself in the first place? None of them get to the root of the real problems. All of them are Band-Aids. A food diet is a Band-Aid that you are attempting to apply on top of symptoms, and that's why you're still failing. Okay? What are your symptoms? The fat on your body, your out of control eating behaviors? These are symptoms. What is your drug of choice? The food. What are your results? Those are the symptoms. That's the fat on your body. Okay. What is the Band-Aid that you've continued to try to fix this problem with? Another food diet, a diet hack, a diet trick, a diet pill, a diet cleanse. All these little things that never go beyond the surface and get to the root of the real problems. If you want freedom, you have to heal the real problems. Does that make sense? So again, that's what I do with my awesome coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. If you want my help to break free, you need to apply for a complimentary weight loss breakthrough session. There is no entrance into the Inner Self Diet without first having that complimentary phone call. As of the time of this recording, it's complimentary. I do not guarantee that by the time you listen to this recording that it's still complimentary. So if you want to actually stop struggling and you want to get this done now, you got to go over to www.discovery-session.com. There, you need to enter your first name and email address, click the button. On the next page, fill out the application. There is an application. The call is complimentary. You can't just get on the phone if you're not serious about making real changes. Does that make sense? Only 3 people at the most can get through in this process per week. It's very, very, very limited. So if you want to stop binge eating, you want to stop emotional eating, you want to lose that weight and you want to keep it off, you want to stop feeling like you're missing out, you want to stop doubting yourself and second guessing yourself every minute of the day, you want to stop the constant anxiety and fear and powerlessness that you feel about this whole situation with your eating and your weight, and you want to get to your healthiest weight and stay there, then go over to www.discovery-session.com. You're probably going to be afraid to do this because it's something totally different, but you have to do something totally different to get totally different results. Nothing is going to change if you just keep listening to podcasts and you keep watching YouTube exercise workouts and you keep thinking about, oh yeah, I want to lose weight. Nothing's going to change there. Let's get real, okay? And this is not even an official Get Real episode. Next week is an official Get Real episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. But this one here, I'm still saying get real. Look at your results. Your results never lie. If you're happy with your results, why are you listening to me talk? Wouldn't you have better things to be doing with your life? And you better make sure that when you get coaching, you have a coach who is strong enough and brave enough to tell you the truth. Because everybody else out there, they're not going to tell you the truth because they're afraid of hurting your feelings. Now, I'm not here to hurt my clients' feelings. That's not my goal at all. I am here to give my clients my Get Real coaching, which is I can easily see their excuses. I can see their unconscious roadblocks. I can see what they can't see. So I am there to help them uncover what they can't see so that they can break through really fast and get on with it. Get on with it because you've got to get in motion and get in action consistently, meal after meal after meal after meal, in order to get that weight off and keep it off. It's not going to happen by magic. All right. Are you following me here? Is this making sense? All right. Coaching is the fastest path to get from where you are, where you're all stuck in the muck, frustrated, miserable, hating your body, hating yourself, feeling powerless. Coaching is the fastest path to go from there to freedom. Now, it still doesn't happen overnight, but it's going to happen a heck of a lot faster. I mean, my coaching clients, when they just simply follow my steps, they got to do the steps, of course. You know, there's no magic here. I don't have a magic wand, but when they just follow my steps, they achieve struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. That is gosh darn Speedy Gonzalez when you consider the fact that you've been struggling a frickin' lifetime since you were what, 8, 10, 5, 12? How old were you when you first started struggling with food and your weight? It's really easy to figure out how old this problem is for you. You take a pen and paper right now. Pause this podcast to get pen and paper. Come back as soon as you've got pen and paper. Okay, now that you have pen and paper, write your age down on that paper, your current age. Then write down the age that you were when you first started struggling in any way. Doubting yourself, doubting your body, thinking you were fat. Maybe you were fat. Maybe you were already overeating. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you just thought you were fat, like me. All right? I was 7 when this whole problem started for me. I was not fat. I was not overweight. I was actually a skinny kid, but I started thinking I was fat. All right? So how old were you? Write that number down, that age. Subtract the 2. Circle the answer to that equation, to that math equation. That is how old this problem is. What number did you come up with? 33, 28, 45, 52. What number did you come up with? This is why the Band-Aid diets haven't gotten you anywhere. The problem is too old, you've been struggling too long, and you're not doing the right steps. The right steps need to go to the heart of the matter and unwind and heal what the real problems are. And that's why I coach my clients in the Inner Self Diet. Once again, if you want my help to get this done and get it done as quickly as possible, start at www.discovery-session.com. All right, so moving on to my list of my top 10 diet failures. If you can hear me now, do you hear that? That's my paper that I have them all listed from 10 to 1, pen on paper. And actually what I'm doing, just in case this wasn't clear by the way I titled today's podcast, I am separating my list of 10 into groups of 3. And then the last podcast in this series of just a couple podcasts, I think it will work out to be about 4 or 5 podcasts. I'm going to do 3 each podcast, and then the last one will be my number 1 biggest diet failure. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I started to initially record today's podcast with all 10 diet failures, and it just went on forever because there's things that I want to share with you so that you can hopefully learn something from my mistakes. And when I share something about each of these diet failures, it just takes time. All right, so today I am sharing with you number 10, 9, and 8. So we're starting with number 10. Number 10, diet failure in my personal experience. Diet pills. Specifically, these were fiber pills. But way back when I remember ordering these through the mail, through an ad in a magazine, the magazine ad, of course, it didn't say that these were fiber pills. It said, oh, take these pills and you won't be hungry and you're going to lose weight. Yeah, well, you might as well go get some Metamucil and take that before each of your meals. I got the fiber pills in the mail, and I, of course, was all excited because I thought that this magical fix, oh, wow, I can lose weight. When I got to say this too, I got to add this in here. I really wasn't overweight when I was ordering these fiber pills. It's so silly. If you've ever heard any of my other podcasts when I shared my story of when I first started struggling with food and my weight, I was only 7 years old. I remember it very clearly. It was a hot summer. I had on a pair of little red shorts. I was a skinny little kid. I remember I sat down on the front seat of my parents' car and I looked down at my thighs, and for any person on the planet, no matter how thin you are, when you sit down, your thighs spread out a little bit. And I remember thinking the thought, I am fat. That's where all of my struggles started. And it was all in the head. And eventually I did end up gaining weight. Eventually, if I had never gotten into that mindset, then I wouldn't have had a problem because I wasn't overweight. I wasn't overweight. The mind leads the body. So here I was, not when I was 7. I was probably about, well, I was older, maybe in my teens. And I saw this ad for these fiber pills, which is what they were, but they were marketed as the solution to your overweight problems, and this will fix everything, and you don't even have to change what you're eating. Keep eating that homemade cherry pie that your mom bakes for your dad, and everything will be fine. Just take these pills. Well, here's something interesting. When you have a fat mindset, a fat head, and you're having a problem with your eating, you're either binge eating or emotional eating, you're eating too much, you're eating the wrong kinds of foods, you're stuffing yourself, guess what? None of those eating behaviors have anything to do with physical hunger. So even taking some kind of diet pills that are supposed to take away your hunger, who cares? Because you're not eating for physical hunger in the first place. Does that make sense? So at least I picked some kind of diet pills that were totally benign. They were just capsules filled with gunk that would expand in the stomach when you swallow them and then you drink some water. Did that help me? No, but it did clearly show the magical thinking that started with me. And I had other problems with magical thinking throughout my life. In fact, I'll get to that in number 8, which is really funny. Actually, number 9 shows it too. Magical thinking will never give you successful weight loss. All right? 92.8% of your problems are in your head. You have to change your head in order to change your body with ease. Hey, have you ever gotten my free 5-day e-course? It's all about, is your mindset fit or fat? If you go to fearlessfatloss.com, you go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog, and there's a button to click in the right-hand sidebar where you can go to the page where you can sign up for my free 5-day e-course. Find out if your mindset is fit or fat, and then what you need to do about it, because it's not going to change just by thinking about it, dreaming about it, listening to me talk about it. Nothing changes without action. All right? You change your mind so that you can easily change your eating behaviors so that you can get that weight off and keep it off. Because in the end, there is no magic for weight loss, people. There's no magic. You have to change what you're eating, how much you're eating, portion sizes. You have to change, okay? I have had coaching clients who wanted to somehow make the ice cream give them the results of the body they wanted. It doesn't work. And that's why they wanted my help, because they needed to change their wiring in their head, in their inner self programming. And it wasn't just mental wiring, but also emotional wiring, and also wiring with old stories. And once that stuff, that conglomeration of things was changed, then they were able to break free of their obsession with the ice cream. Because ice cream, eating that every day, folks, it's not going to magically give you the weight loss you want, no matter how many positive thoughts you think about it. This is a big, this leads me into something else right now. This is a big misunderstanding with using law of attraction to lose weight. The purpose of using law of attraction to lose weight is still about changing yourself so that then you change your eating habits. Okay? You don't believe that you can eat sweets all day and lose weight. And the body doesn't work like that. But if you were to do the inner self work, the inner self steps, so that you would want the healthy food, then what would be the problem? Does that make sense? This reminds me of one of my coaching clients, Sophia. After she broke through her internal barriers, she said, I thought that what this was going to be about was that I would be able to avoid the fried chicken, but I would still want it. And she said, that's not what this is at all. And she didn't understand it until she had the experience. But what her experience taught her was that she didn't even want the fried chicken. It was not a struggle to choose the salad over the fried chicken. Does that make any sense? It's hard to comprehend when you are so stuck where you are, and it's hard to believe when you have failed so many times. But you've never done what the inner self diet is. How do I know? Because if you'd done it and you'd followed the steps, you wouldn't be listening to my voice right now. That's for darn sure. You'd be out there living your life, loving your body, living a healthy lifestyle. You wouldn't be feeling deprived. You wouldn't be feeling like you're missing out. It would just not be any big deal because you would have released your internal battles that are only a fight between you and you. All right, so that was number 10, the diet pills, the fiber pills. Number 9 on my top 10 list of ultimate diet failures was this book that I was obsessed with. It was an old book that my mom had. I don't even know exactly what the title was. This was, some old book that she had, but it was in her bookcase, and it was something about eating rice to lose weight. And what's funny about this and why this is on my top 10 list is because I was obsessed with this book, but I never did what was in the book. I never did it. How many diet books do you own that you've either never read, or you might have read them and gotten some information, but you didn't take action? And then you turn that into a story that, nothing works for me. You know what the truth is? The truth is that you don't do the work. I don't know about this book that my mom had. If I had followed what was in this book, would it have worked? I don't know because I didn't actually do it. But I will say that it's not healthy. It's not a healthy eating plan to only be eating one type of food. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. And now that I think about it, I think that was based on the way that people in Asia eat because they eat a lot of rice, but they don't eat only rice. They eat protein also. And actually, the way that I eat now, the real food that I eat, which is the only thing that's ever worked for me, honest to goodness, real food. Oh my God, who would have ever thought? Wow. Makes a little bit of sense, though, when you consider the fact that before the processed food industry came on the scene in the 1950s, if you go back before the 1950s, there was not an obesity epidemic. That's interesting, isn't it? So, what I was about to say is that the only thing that's ever worked for me and my body is eating real food. And sometimes I do eat rice if I want to have that as a carb, not for every meal. And also, I have to use portion control. It's not like a free-for-all. Bottom line, you have to follow instructions. And you can't make up your own shit and just say, well, this is how I'm going to eat, and it just better work because this is what I want to eat, and I don't care what anybody else says. Oh my God, I'm not losing any weight, but this is how I want to eat, and this is the only way I'm going to eat, but I'm not losing any weight. Well, I'm not going to do anything different because this is what I want to eat. Okay, then accept the results. It's madness. It's really madness. So many people, they want the results. Everybody wants to be fit, thin, healthy, strong, beautiful, successful, rich, popular. Everybody wants the results. Not a lot of people are willing to do what those other people did to get the results that they have. Okay? It's not magic, folks. And weight loss is not rocket science. It really isn't. But when you're all wound up in your own internal lies, your internal BS, your internal stories, all of the hidden, unconscious inner self programming that you can't see, that continues to bring you down every time you start to make a little bit of progress. When you are so blocked up, you're constipated. You know what? You are constipated with a fat mindset. That just came to me. I love it. You are constipated with struggle, and you're addicted to it. How do I know? Because you're listening to my voice. That's how I know. I don't know who you are, but you're listening to my voice right now. You're stuck. Otherwise, you'd be doing something else. You wouldn't have a weight problem. You wouldn't be obsessed with food. You wouldn't be obsessed with weight loss. You wouldn't be binge eating. You wouldn't be emotional eating. You wouldn't be stuffing yourself. You would be living your life, loving your life, having fun, dealing with problems as they come up without using food as a crutch. You know, food is supposed to be fuel for your body. I know it's hard to believe, right? But food is not a sport. All right. Number 8, top 10 diet failure. And this is so funny. The spaghetti diet. Okay, now what was this? This is what I was just talking about with the madness of just, well, I'm going to eat this and I'm just going to have this one food and I should just lose weight. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But have you ever done that? Just like what I was saying a couple minutes ago. Well, I can't give up my da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, well, then don't. And then don't complain about your results, okay? But you continue to look. You continue to search. You continue to want this magical solution so that you can continue to eat the wrong foods that make your body fat because you refuse to stop lying to yourself and you refuse to get to the bottom of the real issues that are causing you so much struggle. If you were to love yourself enough to do the inner self healing steps that would set you free, then you wouldn't be listening to me talk right now. So what is the spaghetti diet? That was me eating spaghetti for like every meal. And the only thing that I put on it was my dad's canned tomatoes. And I guess I got the idea from this rice diet thing that I never did, but I was obsessed with the book. And I just ate spaghetti. That's all I did. And you know what? For many years, now that I think about it, I did that. Now, I'm not saying that for many years I only ate spaghetti for every meal, but for many, many years, spaghetti was a big part of my daily life. And I didn't understand why I wasn't losing weight because I had it hooked up in my mind that, well, you know, just this is how things should work. No, they don't. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? How powerful your mind is and how stuck you can make yourself. And you will continue to be stuck and you will continue to struggle if you never do the right diet. The only diet there is, is the inner self diet. The inner self diet unravels your BS. It unravels your excuses. It unravels your self-hate. It unravels your shame. It unravels your fear. It unravels the fat in your head. Why would you want to unravel all of this stuff? So that you can begin taking effortless action to change your eating behaviors and your exercise behaviors so that you can effortlessly release that fat and keep it off. When you have the correct inner self set up, the correct inner self foundation, once you become fit, healthy, strong, confident, wonderful, full of self-love, strong, secure, high self-esteem, you become that on the inside. It's very easy to match up your behaviors on the outside. But none of this happens by magic. None of it happens by listening to me talk on this free weight loss podcast. Thank you for all of the compliments on my voice. That's nice. But what kind of results are you getting by just listening to me talk? Does that make sense? The only way to get new results is you've got to take new action. If you want my help to make it happen, your first step is to go over to www.discovery-session.com. And you need to enter your first name and email address. That's the first step. The second step is on the second page. You've got to fill out the application. The third step is you've got to wait for an email from my scheduling department and then confirm the time that they send you. The fourth step is you need to answer the phone when I call for your appointment time. And then we go through finding out, where are you at? What do you really want? What is stopping you? All different kinds of discovery for yourself. I've had so many people tell me that weight loss discovery session gives them so much clarity, and they're not used to somebody, a professional, listening to them. And they always say also, this, I hear this a lot, that them speaking out loud the answers to my questions gives them a totally new clarity instead of just running all of the anxiety and the worries and the fears constantly through their head, which only motivates you to go stuff yourself with food, and you don't get anywhere with your weight. Does that make sense? Have you gotten my free download yet? It's a free download that you can nab over at www.easyfunweightloss.com. In it, you'll get 3 steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. It's something that you can grab for free. Is it going to heal the root of your food and weight struggles? No. You need coaching. You need accountability. You need a full system. You need two-way communication, live communication, and that takes time. But you can just, go download my 3 simple steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. You can definitely get that now at www.easyfunweightloss.com. Okay, a couple questions to ask yourself. I highly recommend that you grab pen and paper. Just pause the podcast, get your pen, get your paper, and then start the podcast again once you have your pen and paper. And then write each of these questions down. Pause the podcast as you need time, because you're going to need to take time to answer each question for yourself. The reason I suggest doing this is because you're going to get a lot more out of this free weight loss podcast if you actually follow through and take action for yourself. When you write pen on paper, there's a connection that you will get with yourself. It's a connection between your head, your hand, and your heart. You cannot get that connection just listening to me talk on and on and on and on. You got to connect with yourself, and you got to put both feet flat on the floor. It's not going to happen by just listening to me, especially if you're driving in a car and you're just listening to me talk on and on. You might get some insights, but nothing like what you could get by getting out your pen and paper. All right, first question. And all of these questions you're asking yourself, so they are phrased in a way that these are all for you. First question. How many times have I engaged in magical thinking about my weight and my eating habits and my goal that I have for weight loss? How many times have I engaged in magical thinking about my weight, about the food I eat, about the state of my health, the state of my fitness? Number 2 question, what are all the things that I have done as a result of that magical thinking? What are all the things I've done as a result of that magical thinking? In case you missed it, magical thinking is when you're hoping, you're praying, you're wishing that you could somehow lose weight. You're telling yourself that, well, it doesn't matter that I'm eating this and this and this and this. I should just be able to lose weight anyway, just because I say so. These are examples of magical thinking. Magical thinking is buying into the fake stories of these people that sell these diet pills and tricks and hacks and things like that. And they say, you don't have to make any changes to your lifestyle. You don't have to change the way you eat. You don't have to change the way you move. Just do this one little thing and you're going to lose weight. Come on now. Let's come out of the magical thinking. It's not going to happen. All right? The human body doesn't work like that. Let's get real. Okay? Number 3 question. How many years have I been struggling with all of these issues? How many years have I been struggling with all of these issues related to my body image, how I look, how I show up, how I feel about myself, the way I eat, my self-esteem, my self-confidence, my feelings of anxiety, worry, fear, insecurity, depression, hopelessness? How long has this been going on? Number 4 question. How much longer am I going to allow it to go on? Now, be careful with what you answer here, because if you say, I'm not allowing this to go on any further, then number 5 question, what exactly are you doing now to get totally new results? Because just saying, well, I'm not going to allow this to go on any longer. I'm seeing how exhausted I am. I'm so miserable. Nothing is changing. I just keep telling myself that I'm going to change on Monday. I'm going to get it together on Monday. I'll get it together on the 1st of the month. I'll get it together after the new year or on New Year's Day. Oh my God, that was 6 months ago. Nothing has changed. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then 40 years goes by, So you can't just make the statement, I'm stopping this madness now. You have to have a plan. You have to have help. How do you know you need help? Because if you could have done this all by yourself, why would you be listening to me right now? Especially this episode is getting kind of long here. Why would you still be listening to me yammer on and on and on if you could have done this alone? And it's very, very, very smart to recognize that you need help. And it's actually a sign of high self-esteem to reach out and get help. It's the people who are hopeless and the people who hate themselves so much, and they are so disgusted with themselves that they believe that they are beyond help, they won't get help. Their self-esteem is so low that their self-esteem is lower than sea level, lower than low. So when you reach out to get help, to get out of the struggle, to stop sabotaging yourself, to release your inner hidden blocks that you can't see on your own because they've been there so long and you've been stuck for so long, when you reach out to get help to finally stop struggling with food and your weight, that shows that you have a high enough self-esteem that you still believe in yourself and you still have hope. That's a very, very good sign, and that's very, very smart. It's a very, very good thing. The people who are not getting help, well, maybe they are hopeless, okay? Let's just get real. They're not getting help because they don't believe in themselves. They're not getting help because their self-esteem isn't high enough. They're not getting help because they believe it's over for them and that they're just going to fail again. So thank God that you are not like them. Thank God that you have enough oomph left within you to still believe enough in yourself to reach out and get the coaching you need. Does that make sense? It's something to celebrate. It really, really is. Like I said before, I think I've said this a couple times here today on this podcast episode. If you want my help to make it happen, to get out of your struggles, to move forward so that you can finally lose weight and keep it off, your first step is to go over to www.discovery-session.com, fill out an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. At the time of this recording, that call is complimentary. I do not guarantee that in the future it will still be complimentary. So if you are serious about taking action to solve your food and weight struggles once and for all, hop on that now. There's no time to waste. You know, the longer that you stay stuck in the struggle, the closer you come to completely giving up. It's just how it is. You know, you can only fail so many times. You know, you gotta get on the success train, and you can only get on that success train and keep it going by healing your inner self. That's 92.8% of what you are missing. There's a reason why you haven't been able to just stick to a food diet and see it through. So what I'm going to do on next week's podcast is I'm still counting down my top 10 personal diet failures. And so next week, I'm going to share with you numbers 7, 6, and 5. So that'll be fun. And I hope that you can learn something from all of my mistakes. My biggest wish for you is that you don't hold yourself back anymore. And coaching, I tell you what, the fastest way out of all of that misery that you're in is to get coaching. It really is. By the way, if you don't understand what coaching is, or you don't understand how it can help you, search in the JoLynn Braley Show for my special series. It's titled Why Coaching for Weight Loss. And if you don't see it there, go over to fearlessfatloss.com/blog and then type in the search bar Why Coaching for Weight Loss, and you should see that series pop up in the search results. That will help you learn more about coaching, why it's so extremely vital if you really want to heal the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles. Everybody needs coaching. Not everybody needs permanent weight loss coaching, but everybody needs some kind of coaching. And coaching, in a nutshell, it's the very fastest way to get from where you are right now, stuck in all that struggle, overweight, obese, overeating, can't stop eating. Coaching is the fastest way to move out of that place and move into the place of new freedom, the place where you can live a healthy lifestyle without feeling like you're missing out, without feeling like you're deprived, without feeling like it's too much, it's too hard, it's impossible. The only reason that you think it's too hard right now is because you think it's too hard. All right? But me just saying that, it's not enough. You've probably heard that before. You have to do the inner self diet steps to unravel the different legs of these struggles that you personally are caught up in. All right. I will be back on the next week's podcast, and I will continue the countdown of my top 10 diet failures. I am JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the only diet that really matters. And I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body, feeling good in your own skin, feeling good about yourself, feeling happy with the way that you eat, feeling excited, getting out of bed each morning, looking forward to very good things in your day-to-day life.